Hey guys, it's been a while and I wanted to catch you all up on the progress we've made in the past month. First, some housekeeping. If you aren't already subbed, you can do that to get all the latest updates to be sure you don't miss any of my new content. On to the meat and potatoes. Things I've been working on since my last update are a morning routine to set up my day.
I got two nans, one for the porridge, one for the hunt. Think I need two more. Gotta chop with them ring, ring, ring. Giving out them ring, ring, ring.
Really, I just want to get the workouts out of the way so that I don't have to worry about fitting it in later. It can be really hard to rearrange things when a task takes longer than I expected or when something comes up later in the day that I didn't expect. And it will happen. Plus, first thing in the morning, notifications are at a minimum. Sure, you can turn your phone on silent or hit do not disturb, but I'll be honest, I personally am afraid I'll get something urgent or need to attend to a client request, etc., and miss it. So this is just what works for me so far. This could easily change later on. I've also cut my cardio in half.
Yeah, no, don't put me down for cardio.
This was due to my scale stalling out. For those of you who do not know, I've been cutting, aka dieting, for a few months now. I kind of have a wedding dress to fit into, and I'd like to not sell myself short now. Now, I know what you're thinking. You cut your cardio to help you lose weight? That's stupid. I'll let you in on a little secret. Sometimes your body just kind of needs some change.
That you needed a change.
When you get used to doing the same things over and over and over, doing the same efforts, you have a tendency to reach an equilibrium where you have to change something. Sometimes that could be eating less or adding in more strength training days, etc. I'll also mention here that it's a lot easier for people to eat less than it is to work out more.
I could care less if she eats.
Yeah, true.
One other huge thing about that is that it takes more of your time, and that's kind of something that I'm trying to get more of, oddly enough.
Need more time.
So with that, I've been tracking my time expenditure with an app I'm testing. I'm not sure how much I like it yet. I'm still learning the options and features, but I'll be happy to share my results with you whenever I have more of them. I'm currently using Toggle, mostly because I had heard of it. From what I can tell so far, it's very project-centered. It does account for the non-billable hours, but doesn't seem to incorporate them as much as I'd like, seeing as most of what I do is non-billable. For example, this, making content.
Binge watching media content.
But I'm also considering making this into a podcast. I haven't done all the research yet, but it's on my radar for sure. And speaking of content, I'm reading a few books right now. They are the following. The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. I've read this via audiobook before, but it had so much content available with graphs and charts and links to things that sounded really beneficial, so I decided to reread the physical copy. I'm also currently reading A Guide for Creatives, Freelance and Business and Stuff by Amy and Jennifer Hood of Hoodspa. They are a graphic design agency that's very successful and they make really cool stuff. So back in the day, I used to be a freelance graphic designer in my downtime. And I read this, mostly. And I found it the other day when I was looking for something in the house and thought it could be easily very applicable for other service-based businesses, such as voiceover. But it does have several topics that would prove beneficial for any service-based entrepreneur, especially for those just getting started. Other things I'm listening to right now are the Money Guy Show. They have lots of great information there for anyone learning to manage finances for business or personal. Smart Money Happy Hour with Rachel Cruz and George Camel. They have really fun topics that I find also very informative, and I generally like to listen to them while I'm cooking or prepping. I also like The Art of Charm. This is more of a behavioral podcast about how you basically level up your soft skills with other people. The Andy Stanley Leadership Podcast as well. It basically interviews different leaders in the Christian community to help others communicate better with their teams and just how to be a better leader. I also like The Game with Alex Hormozi. I recently found his podcast and content and literally just can't put it down. His wisdom and insight is so different from the others that I've listened to, and there's so much I really just resonate with in just being a doer to achieve goals. And it's so obvious. His wife Layla is the same way. She likes to take risks and makes it happen, and they just love doing what they do. Obviously, most of these are available on both YouTube or Spotify or whatever you listen to. Or if you're reading or listening to someone or something that you find really insightful or educational in business, finance, or skills, please feel free to share it in the comments. I'd love to check them out. I'm dying. There we go. In the finance portion of today's update, I recently combined finances with my fiance. I know, right? It's really scary and very tough, especially because we've both been so independent for so much of our lives. He's managed money much differently than I have in the past several years. So we have a lot of ground to cover in learning how to be a team on this particular subject.
We're a team.
However, after following George Camel for a month or so, I decided to try out the zero-based budget provided by the app Every Dollar, created by the Dave Ramsey team. Hashtag not sponsored. If you're unfamiliar, zero-based budget is a method of budgeting where all expenses must be allocated for every month. The process of zero-based budgeting starts from a zero base, and every category is designated for its needs and costs. The budgets are then built around what is needed for the upcoming month, regardless of whether each budget is higher or lower than the previous one. But at the end of the month, every dollar is accounted for, whether it's for food, savings, debt, ordering pizza, you name it.
Leaning tower of pizza boxes.
Literally, you name each spending category. So we're trying that right now and basically taking the first couple months just to get used to it. And then we'll be making adjustments in the upcoming months to see what we can do better. If you've used this app or this budget strategy, how has it worked for you? Obviously, there's different strokes for different folks, but it is kind of neat to try things if whatever you've been doing just ain't cutting it anymore.
What's the matter with you, scissors?
The past month has been crazy. I went from spending 4 to 5 hours during the day just watching TV and not knowing what else to work on to having to plan each day and make sure I'm making progress on all the things that I want to get done. I'm not sure if I just have like new ideas or just got the transition out of my system, but it seems to be working so far. I'm having to cut back on cleaning and chores just to make sure that I have time to get my work completed. I'm also taking opportunities to network with new people and making accountability friends to keep each other accountable.
Bradley, how about you be Butter's accountability buddy?
On just getting leads, making content, putting in auditions, and just putting yourselves out there. It's really tough to juggle, but learning all these things has been really cool, and it feels like I'm starting to find a rhythm. With that, I've had to get a real CRM. I hate it. But for those of you who don't already know, CRM is a customer or client relations management system. But for real, it has a learning curve. I'm not sure if I will keep this one either, but it has been helpful compared to my sprawled Google spreadsheet I was attempting to keep that had information all over the place with zero rhyme or reason. The one I'm currently using is called HubSpot. There is a free version. I'm not sure of all the limitations with it, but I'm using it mostly to keep up with my contact sheets, my current job listings, and where they are in the process, as well as email campaigns. I'm still trying to figure all of this out, and it is a process for sure. Last thing that I want to mention, never underestimate the value of networking with local businesses.
It's you, small business owner!
People want to work with local businesses. They can see you face to face, get the pride of referring you to others in your area, and vice versa. It's really cool to help your community grow, and this is an excellent way to do just that. So, with that, thank you everyone so much for your time today. If you enjoy this type of content, please like, subscribe, and comment. I plan to make a new post next month and other short form content on socials like Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, etc. Feel free to follow me on all of those platforms, whatever one you prefer. And be on the lookout for the podcast in the near future. There's several things I have coming down the pipeline, but aren't quite finalized yet, and I don't want to jinx any of it. So you'll have to hear more on the next update. Much love. Toodles.